Tonight on Coventry Motor Speedway Television, it's the second leg of the Elite League KO Cup final, the Victor Chandler Coventry Bees versus the Meridian List POOLE Pirates. Bees, of course, 4 points down from the first leg at Wimborne Road on Thursday evening and faced tonight by very inclement conditions here at Coventry. You can see the track very soggy indeed and a liberal sprinkling of sawdust down. But the riders have had a look at the track and decided that it is okay to actually get into racing action tonight. So the bike's being warmed up in the pits. And the Victor Chandler Bees, that they know that they've got to hit these Meridian List POOLE Pirates very hard for the start tonight. Of course, POOLE victorious on 3 previous occasions so far this season at Coventry. And once again this evening, the Pirates call upon England international Mark Loram. Also in Pirates ranks, of course, are the second strings of Bjarne PEDERSEN and Antonio Lindback. And Pirates will be looking to their Scandinavian second strings to contribute vital points for them here at Coventry this evening. The Pirates, of course, are completed at reserve by Czech international and Grand Prix rider for next year, Dryml, and guesting tonight, in place of the injured Davey Watt, will be from the Hull Vikings, Gary Stead. For the Victor Chandler Bees, a fantastic performance for them down at Wimborne Road on Thursday evening. Lee Richardson delivering a fantastic Heat 13 victory over the Pirates pairing of Adams and Rickardsson. Not the best of evenings for Bees Andreas JONSSON, but Andreas bounced back from 2 falls in his opening 2 rides to contribute to good points later on. And tonight the Victor Chandler Bees turn to Wolverhampton's Mikael MAX as a guest replacement for the still injured Billy Hamill. Ryan Fisher also contributed 2 vital Heat victories, and they'll be looking to the reserve pairing of Fisher and Jason BUNYAN here at Coventry this evening to maintain that sort of good form. Hero for the Victor Chandler Bees on Thursday was, of course, Billy Janniro, and it's with Janniro that we caught up before tonight's meeting.
Billy, well done. You had a really good night at Poole on Thursday, 14 points. We're only a few points down and we're going to really go for it tonight.
Yeah, the team's pumped up. Track's a little not, in our favour, but we're pumped up and ready to score points and win this meeting.
Excellent. You've just walked the track. It looks really wet from here, is that right?
Yeah, they're about to put some sawdust down that should dry it up, but hopefully after the first 3 heats or 4 heats, it'll come around. So we'll see.
Poole you haven't beaten Poole round Brandon this year, so this has got to be the chance to make a difference tonight. And obviously you don't want them getting the double. We want the knockout cup.
Yeah, it's what we want right now, and we didn't win the league, so this is the second best thing. So, hopefully we can pull this one off and win it for the club, and it'll make everything 10 times better.
It's the end of the season. It's been a long year, but you've had quite a good one.
Yeah, it started off all right and then got a little better, and then the last month or so I've been doing really good. So hopefully we can just keep this going until next year.
What are your plans for the winter?
I don't know yet. I haven't figured that one out.
Okay, well, thanks for talking to us, Billy.
No
Cheers.
problem.
So our thanks there to Bees Billy Janniro ahead of tonight's second leg of the Sky Sports Elite League Knockout Cup final. You can see the track's very wet indeed as the riders come round on the parade truck in front of a massive crowd here at Coventry for the last match of the 2003 season. And the Bees will be looking to go out with a bang and take their first Knockout Cup victory since 1967. A healthy gathering of Pirates supporters in attendance tonight, and the Bees know that if they're to beat the POOLE Pirates, they've got to avoid a potential last heat decider situation against the powerhouse of Adams and Rickardsson. The coin toss then, the Pirates call heads and choose gates 2 and 4 ahead of tonight's opening race of the Sky Sports Elite League Knockout Cup final. So how they come then for the opening race of tonight's second leg of the 2003 KO Cup final. Stuart ROBSON's going to be first onto the track for the Victor Chandler Bees, and just coming down in front of the main grandstand onto the track now. Track's had a substantial covering of sawdust this evening. Heavy rain this afternoon for a couple of hours, and there's still rain in the air. And they're going to get into racing action, but we're going to see how we go, see how the track lines up in this opening race here tonight at Coventry. Also on track in this opening race tonight, Bees number 1 tonight, Lee Richardson. And Richardson will be looking to maintain the good form he showed on Thursday night in the first leg, when he, of course, had a double victory over Leigh ADAMS and Tony Rickardsson in the Heat 13. And Bees will be looking to Richardson to putting in equally as good performance this evening. Not going to be easy though against these POOLE Pirates, who have been victorious on 3 occasions here at Coventry this year. Of course, the last time was in the playoff final first leg where they came and won by a point and then wrapped things up very nicely in the second leg down at Poole just a couple of weeks ago. So Bees gunning for revenge for this KO Cup final. Bees' only chance of silverware, of course. The Poole Pirates still in contention also for the British League Cup as well. So as they finally are just having a look at the track ahead of the opening race here tonight at Coventry, we'll have a look at the lineup from inside to out. Lining up for the Victor Chandler Bees in red off the inside will be Lee Richardson. His partner in blue off gate number 3 will be Stuart Robson. For the Meridian Lifts Poole Pirates, lining up in green off gate number 2 will be Leigh ADAMS, and off gate number 4 in yellow and black will be Bjarne PEDERSEN. So like we say, track conditions tonight are going to be very difficult indeed. Rain still in the air, we've still got lots of drizzle around, and let's hope this rain can stay away and we can get through 15 heats of Speedway action. Stanley Marshall just having a word with Bjarne PEDERSEN off gate number 4, just calling him into order ahead of the start of this opening race tonight. Still we await Bjarne PEDERSEN, and Stanley Marshall's patience surely will run out if PEDERSEN doesn't take his place, but he does now, and they all four settle down for the opening race tonight. As the green light comes on straight away, takes being held away they go, and from gate number 1 it's a great start from Lee Richardson, and conditions already are very difficult indeed as this Lee Richardson who leads from Leigh ADAMS. Bjarne PEDERSEN already ahead of Stuart ROBSON, and ROBSON in particular was very tentative on that first corner there, so they come through with a lap gone. Lee Richardson already clear up front, Leigh ADAMS safe and sure in second spot, and already the riders strung out here at Coventry in this opening race, and it'll be interesting to see what time Lee Richardson posts in this opening race tonight. Made a bit of a mistake there as he comes through with 2 gone, just clears his visors there, but meantime in the back it's very difficult indeed for the other boys as Bjarne PEDERSEN and Stuart Robson struggling somewhat, and they're very strung out indeed here at Coventry tonight in this opening race as they come through with a lap to go. Lee Richardson still 20 metres clear of Leigh ADAMS, and the start of Lee Richardson getting the Bees off to the best possible start here in the opening race tonight. So they tear down that back straight for the 4th and final time. Lee Richardson's going to be an easy winner of heat number 1, and we'll look at his winning time as he comes through to the flag. Lee Richardson wins the opening race tonight. Leigh ADAMS comes in 2nd, Bjarne PEDERSEN 3rd, and Lee Richardson's winning time very swift indeed at 60.5. So on the evidence of that, there's not much wrong with the track, but Richardson there made a very swift start, was away, and went on to be a convincing winner of the opening race tonight. So Lee Richardson your winner, Leigh ADAMS 2nd, Bjarne PEDERSEN 3rd, a 3-all in the opening race, and on the aggregate score it's still the Pirates that are 4 points up. So as Lee Richardson comes off the track, and no doubt going back into the pitch to report to his Bees colleagues exactly what track conditions are like, but it didn't seem to hamper Lee Richardson there in the opening race here tonight. A convincing winner of heat number 1. Swiftly on to heat number 2, the reserves race, and lining up for the Victor Chandler Bees in this one could be a key member of the Bees side tonight, Ryan Fisher. Fisher had a very good night on Thursday down at Poole, won 2 races, and he lines up in blue off gate number 4 in this one. His partner, of course, will be Jason Bunyan, and Jason's been plugging away all season, and he's been starting to pick up those 3rd places, and important tonight that he does have the measure, particularly of Pirates guest tonight, Gary Stead, and Stead lines up for the Pirates in yellow. We'll have a look at the lineup then from inside to out. Running in gate number 1 in green for the Meridian List Pirates will be Alice Dryml. In gate number 2 for the Victor Chandler Bees in red will be Jason Bunyan. Gary Stead lines up in yellow and black off gate number 3, and in blue off the outside for the Victor Chandler Bees will be Ryan Fisher. Gary Stead just asking for the green light to be flashed there just so he knows where it is. Referee duly obliges as Stanley Marshall's just having a check there with Alice Dryml, who's just trying to find the best position there off gate number 1. And like we say, track conditions very difficult indeed tonight, and it'll be perhaps a better indicator of how things are going to be in this heat number 2 with these with the reserve riders out in this one. So as they finally settle down for heat number 2, bikes begin to pick up the revs. Still we await the green light. There seems to be a bit of a problem here, and indeed, yeah, the starting marshal's just telling the riders to ease off there, and no green light, and just see what the confusion is here ahead of the start of heat number 2. Starting marshal now telling the boys to turn back, and in fact we hear that the referee's very concerned with the conditions of the track. Rain continually falling now ahead of the start of heat number 2. and obviously going to be a delay while we see if this rain will pass, as you can see the rain absolutely torrential now, and surely if this keeps on then they won't be able to continue, because conditions are very difficult indeed. There's a big healthy crowd in attendance here at Coventry, very patient of course, whilst we see what's going to happen. The riders obviously concerned with conditions. Leigh ADAMS there just pointing out to Alice Dryml about track conditions. All Bees and Pirates riders out here just having a closer look, and surely with the rain falling as it is, they surely can't continue. It's very difficult indeed, but just going to see what's going to happen. You can see the track here is very sodden, and surely they can't continue if this rain does not let up. So a long delay here. We'll have a look at things, see how things are going to be. Referees come down. Referee tonight, Jim Lawrence, and obviously he's got to take into consideration that riders will be returning to their respective countries. But after a long delay, we are back into racing action. Heat number 2 is coming your way, and I think that they've decided that if this rain does continue any more, then they'll have to look again. But for the moment, heat number 2 is going to be underway, and we'll have a look at the lineup. So lining up in green off the inside gate will be Alice Dryml. Riding in red off gate number 2 will be Jason Bunyan. In gate number 3 in yellow and black will be guest tonight Gary Stead. And in blue for the Victor Chandler Bees off the outside will be Ryan Fisher. So as they finally settle down ahead of the start of this heat number 2, green light side up, fly the takes away they go, and from the outside it's a tremendous start by Ryan Fisher, and Fisher's easily across Alice Dryml there. Conditions difficult for Bunyan, and Bunyan makes a mistake, slides a bit across the corner, and that's allowed Gary Stead to get through, and Gary Stead's going very rich into that top corner, and Stead surely is going to come down. Yeah, in fact Stead does come down, and will Stead be able to get back up on his feet and allow this race to continue as they tear down that back straight for the second time. Fisher then clear of Pirates, Alice Dryml. Jason Bunyan took to the third. Gary Stead has been able to get off the track as they come through with 2 gone, and Ryan Fisher made a tremendous start in this one, and he's away clear down that back straight. And Fisher showing the style he showed on Thursday night. We won the reserves race down at Poole on Thursday night, and he looks to be doing the same here at Coventry this evening. So they come through with a lap to go. Still Ryan Fisher way clear of Alice Dryml, and the riders further back, Dryml and Bunyan taking things very gingerly indeed, as the style of Ryan Fisher up front untroubled, and no mistakes required from Ryan Fisher as he comes off that top corner to take race victory in heat number 2. Fisher wins, Alice Dryml second, Jason Bunyan third. So a early advantage tonight goes the way of the Victor Chandler Bees with a 4-2 in that one. Ryan Fisher your winner, Alice Dryml second, Jason Bunyan third. And good to see Gary Stead is okay, and progressively on the night it's 7 now to the Victor Chandler Bees, 5 to the Meridian List Pirates. As we move on to heat number 3, and Bees guest tonight, Mikael MAX, guesting of course for the injured Billy Hamill. Max comes out in red in this one, and I think Bees, by all reports, would have liked Max to have guested originally for them down at Wimborne Road this week, and unfortunately Max had a prior commitment in Sweden on Wednesday evening, and of course with that fixture being called off at Poole on Wednesday, the Bees however did decide to still go with rider replacement on the Thursday restaging. So as they all come up to order then for the start of heat number 3, we'll have a look at the lineup from inside to out. Lining up for the Victor Chandler Bees in blue off gate number 1 will be Billy Janniro. And Janniro of course was absolutely fantastic on Thursday night down at Poole. Headed Mark Loram 3 times, headed in fact Tony Rickardsson for a lap. And Bees need Janniro to put in that sort of performance again this evening. So Billy Janniro lines up in blue off gate number 1. Riding in green for the Meridian List Pirates off the gate number 2, again guesting tonight for them, will be Mark Loram. Guesting for the Victor Chandler Bees in red off gate number 3, as we say, is Mikael MAX, and in yellow and black off the outside for the Meridian List Pirates, it's Antonio Lindback. Of course, Lindback had a not the best of debuts at Coventry a couple of weeks ago when he ended up in the safety fence on a couple of occasions, helped on one of those by Billy Janniro. But Lindback will be looking to put in a better performance if possible this evening. Track conditions, they're holding up pretty well. The times have been pretty good in comparison to normal weeks, and we'll see how they're going to go in this one, heat number 3. So as they settle down, the green light comes on straight away. Up fly the takes, away they go. And from the inside, it's a great start from Billy Janniro. And Michael Max has got in there as well. Oh, and Max makes a terrible mistake, and surely that's allowed Mark Loram to get in there. And Loram just goes ahead of Michael Max. Max on the outside, and now Loram's in trouble. And Loram slid from second to fourth, and it's allowed the Bees to get through on a 5-1 at the moment. As it's Billy Janniro up front from Michael Max. Tony Lindback slips into third with now Loram way tailed off at the back. And the Bees, a little bit of luck going the Bees' way there, as Michael Max made a mistake, and then Mark Loram made an almighty mistake there, and it allowed Max to get past him again as they come through with 2 gone. Still Billy Janniro leading from Michael Max. Tony Lindback still in third, and the Bees here are going to take a 5-1 by all accounts in heat number 3, and of course that's going to put them ahead on the aggregate score as they come through with a lap to go. The style of Billy Janniro way clear up front. Michael Max taking things a little gingerly in second, but he's got no challenge from the POOLE Pirates in this one, heat number 3, as they come down that back straight and into the Coventry corner for the 4th and final time. Billy Janniro is going to win heat number 3 as Billy Janniro takes the flag, and Michael Max, in fact, he almost takes Billy Janniro out there. And I think, in fact, Max has got a problem there with his machine. He seems to have his throttle stuck or something there. And Max very fortunate indeed not to take Billy Janniro out after the race. As, yeah, we look there, see what the problem is for Michael Max. And indeed, just having a word with Billy Janniro. Janniro just seeing what the problem is. And Max explaining, indeed, yeah, his throttle did stick there after the race. And that could have been nasty. But after all of that, the Bees take a 5-1 in heat number 3. Billy Janniro celebrates with a wheelie. Michael Max comes in second, Antonio Lindback third. 5-1 to the Victor Chandler Bees. It's now progressively 12 to the Bees and 6 to the Meridian List Pirates. And on the overall score, the Victor Chandler Bees now find themselves 2 points ahead. As Billy Janniro comes down in front of the grandstand, salutes the fans, and again, pretty much carrying on like he did on Thursday evening down at Wimborne Road. As it's a long walk back for Michael Max, and Max of course will be straight back out in heat number 5, so not much time for Max to get things sorted with his machine as he's running back to the pits, and obviously disappointed with a failure of his machine there, but hopeful that he'll be able to get it all rectified for his next outing. As we move swiftly on to heat number 4, and out for the Victor Chandler Bees in this one will be Andreas JONSSON, and JONSSON just getting the thumbs up there from the mechanic on Michael Max, just pushing Max's machine back to the pits, and coming out with JONSSON in this one, of course, will be Ryan Fisher, and Fisher was a convincing winner of heat number 2, and the Bees will be looking to him as well in this one. But it's not going to be easy, of course, because the Meridian List Pirates are represented in this race by their 5-time World Speedway champion, Tony Rickardsson, and Rickardsson's going to line up in green for them off the outside gate. So a bit of a delay while we await the Pirates to come towards the track. And the Bees, good start for them this evening, and the track conditions aren't easy, but if you're prepared to mix it on the first corner as Max and Janniro did in that previous race, and you stand a chance of coming out best. So as coming out onto the track for the Meridian List Pirates now, just coming up towards the tapes, is Gary Stead, and Stead will be looking to make amends after his fall in heat number 2. And now just coming round off the top corner, I think he'll probably do a practice start just to test out conditions. It's Tony Rickardsson. So as Rickardsson comes up towards the tapes, we'll have a look at the lineup from inside to out. Riding in blue for the Victor Chandler Bees off the inside will be Ryan Fisher. For the Meridian List Pirates in yellow off gate number 2 will be Gary Stead. In red for the Victor Chandler Bees off gate number 3 will be Andreas JONSSON, and in green off the outside for the Meridian List POOLE Pirates will be Tony Rickardsson. All 4 riders just having a closer look at the starting grids here just to see what's going to give them the best advantage into that first corner. I think trapping is going to be extra crucial tonight. It's going to be very difficult indeed to make a ground if you find yourself behind with all this wet sticky shell flying up from the back wheel, but we'll see how things are going to go in this heat number 4. The Bees probably the best start they could have wished for, to be 6 up on the night after just 3 races, and they'll see if JONSSON has the measure here of Tony Rickardsson in this heat number 4. So as they settle down for the start of heat number 4, the green light comes on straight away, up fly the takes, away they go, and from the inside it's a good start from Fisher, and in fact off gate number 3 it's a good start from JONSSON. And what's happened to Tony Rickardsson there on the first corner? Rickardsson didn't seem to go anywhere, and he finds himself way tailed off at the back with less than a lap gone, as it's Andreas JONSSON leading from Ryan Fisher, and Gary Stead's in third, and Rickardsson doesn't seem interested in at all. At the back, he's 30 metres behind. Surely, maybe he's got a mechanical problem, but up front for the Bees, they're not concerned, as it's Andreas JONSSON clear, and Gary Stead's trying to battle and challenge hard on Ryan Fisher. Fisher's just got to be careful and hold back the challenge of Gary Stead, but way clear at the front for the Victor Chandler Bees. It's Andreas JONSSON, and a 5-1 here for the Victor Chandler Bees would be beyond their wildest dreams as they come through with a lap to go. JONSSON way clear of Fisher. Gary Stead still in third. Where is Tony Rickardsson? The answer is he's now 30-40 metres back, and surely the Victor Chandler Bees are going to take a 5-1 in this heat number 4, and they're going to be 10 points up to the good tonight as they come off that top corner. JONSSON, an easy winner of heat number 4. Ryan Fisher comes in second, Gary Stead third, and amazingly for the Meridian List Pirates, an absolutely shocking ride by Tony Rickardsson, and Rickardsson just didn't seem interested at all there off the start. Let's look at what happened on that first corner, and amazingly Rickardsson was absolutely nowhere. So as they come round, we'll have a look at the result. Andreas JONSSON, your winner. Ryan Fisher in second, Gary Stead third. It's now progressively 17 to the Victor Chandler Bees and 7 to the Meridian List Pirates. On the overall scores, it's now 59 to the Victor Chandler Bees, 53 to the Meridian List Pirates. Swiftly on to heat number 5, and just coming out onto the track, his machine having been repaired after heat number 3, Mikael MAX, and Max is going to take up his position in gate number 2. His partner in this one, off gate number 4 in blue this time, will be Billy Janniro. Riding for the Meridian List Pirates in green, off gate number 3 will be Leigh ADAMS, and in yellow and black, off gate number 1 will be Bjarne PEDERSEN. And the Pirates will be hopeful that they can make these inside gates count and come back straight away to these Victor Chandler Bees, who've got off to an absolutely fantastic start tonight. 17 points to 7 after just 4 heats, and you wouldn't have expected that at all. So they settling down ahead of the start of this heat number 5. Starting marshal again, just having a word with Bjarne PEDERSEN. PEDERSEN does like to take his time ahead of the start, and Mikael MAX just taking up his position in gate number 2 as all 4 now settled down for the start of heat number 5. As the green light comes on straight away, up fly the takes, away they go, and it's a good start from Mikael MAX off gate number 2. Oh, and Bjarne PEDERSEN's in trouble, and he takes Billy Janniro out there, and surely Bjarne PEDERSEN's going to have to go from that one as he shot across the corner, and he had nowhere to go but straight into Billy Janniro. And down they came, and disaster there for the Meridian List Pirates, and it just gets better for the Victor Chandler Bees as Bjarne PEDERSEN's going to find himself excluded out of that one, and back on his feet and walking back to the pits, and thank goodness both appear to be perfectly okay. But PEDERSEN looks there as if he's had a mud bath, absolutely caked in mud, and Billy Janniro just checking on his machine just to make sure everything's okay. So Bjarne PEDERSEN finds himself excluded, and a chance again here in this heat number 5 for the Victor Chandler Bees to extend their advantage even further, as it's a long walk back for Bjarne PEDERSEN, and he'll have to go back to the pits and clean himself off and make himself ready for his next outing. So as the conditions still requiring extra caution tonight here at Coventry, as they come back out for the restart of heat number 5. Bjarne PEDERSEN of course excluded, and Pirates now represented only by Leigh ADAMS in this race. So we'll look at the lineup from inside to out. The revised lineup: no rider in gate number 1, Mikael MAX lines up for the Bees in gate number 2, Leigh ADAMS lines up in gate number 3, and in blue off the outside for the Victor Chandler Bees will be Billy Janniro. Just waiting for Mikael MAX just to calm himself down ahead of the start. Leigh ADAMS just testing himself there, just awaiting the start of this heat number 5. As they finally all 3 settle down for the restart of this heat number 5. Green light does come on straight away. Up fly the Tates, away they go, and from gate number 2 it's a good start from Mikael MAX, and Billy Janniro's got around the outside of Leigh ADAMS. Can Billy Janniro maintain an advantage over Adams? He gets ahead of Adams as they tear into that top corner. Billy Janniro makes a mistake, but Adams isn't close enough to get near him, and it's Mikael MAX that leads from Billy Janniro. Leigh ADAMS is struggling somewhat in third, and it looks again after a lap as if the Bees are going to turn the screw even further and take another 5-1 in this heat number 5, as Mikael MAX is way clear up front from Billy Janniro, and Leigh ADAMS doesn't seem interested at all. Leigh ADAMS is now 50 metres or more behind, and the Bees are turning the screw on the Meridian List POOLE Pirates, and the Bees look set fair to take another 5-1 in this heat number 5, as it's Mikael MAX still way clear of Billy Janniro. With a lap to go, Janniro makes a mistake. He just checks back to see where Leigh ADAMS is, and the answer is Leigh ADAMS is the length of a straight amazingly behind as they come down that back straight for the final time. Mikael MAX is going to win heat number 5. Billy Janniro is going to come in second. No mistakes this time from Billy Janniro as they come through to take the flag. Mikael MAX wins heat number 5. Billy Janniro second, and just about crossing the line comes Leigh ADAMS, and Adams just isn't interested at all. Conditions very difficult indeed, and once the Bees got out of that out of the tapes and into that first corner, the Bees 5-1 was on. So the Bees take another 5-1, and amazingly now it's 22 to the Victor Chandler Bees, 8 to the Meridian List POOLE Pirates, and surely now the Bees have laid the best foundation, surely that they're going to go on and take the 2003 Elite League KO Cup as they come down in front of the fans. Brandon fans pinching themselves at the start that the Bees have made this evening. 5-1 after 5-1 as Mikael MAX comes down and takes the applause of the Brandon faithful. As we move on to heat number 6, and we'll remind you of the score: 22 to the Victor Chandler Bees, just 8 to the Meridian List POOLE Pirates, and Pirates have just seriously got to find themselves, got to pull themselves together and see if they can come back at the Victor Chandler Bees, but in this one it's not going to be easy. Okay, the Pirates do have Tony Rickardsson lining up in green for them off gate number 2, but Bees do have Leigh Richardson lining up in red off gate number 3. So we'll look at the lineup from inside to out. Stuart ROBSON lines up for the Victor Chandler Bees in blue off the inside, Tony Rickardsson in green off gate number 2, Leigh Richardson in green off gate number 3, and off the outside will be Andreas Dryml. So important for the Meridian List Pirates that Rickardsson can defeat Richardson in turn. Of course, Dryml's got to come out and beat Stuart ROBSON if possible, if for the Pirates stand any hope of getting back into this match. Stanley Marshall just having a word with Tony Rickardsson just to make sure that his position is okay, as they all four do finally settle down now for the start of this heat number 6. Boys begin to pick up the revs, green light comes on, up fly the Tates, away they go, and it's a good start from Rickardsson off gate number 2, but he's made a mistake there, gone wide, and Richardson, a clever ride there by Leigh Richardson, and Richardson slipped inside of the 5 times world champion, and it's Leigh Richardson that leads on Tony Rickardsson. Stuart ROBSON ahead of Andreas Dryml, and Dryml makes a terrible mistake there on the top corner, and the Bees are on another heat advantage at the moment, as it's Leigh Richardson who leads from Tony Rickardsson, and Rickardsson just checks back to see where Stuart ROBSON is, and the answer is he's about 20 metres back as they come through with 2 gone. Leigh Richardson still way clear of Tony Rickardsson. A better ride from Rickardsson in this one, but I don't think he's going to be able to get to Leigh Richardson, and the Bees are going to extend their advantage even further as they come through off that top corner. Still Leigh Richardson clear off Tony Rickardsson. Stuart ROBSON safe in third with Andreas Dryml nowhere. I think Dryml's just about to retire as they come down that back straight for the final time. Leigh Richardson's going to take an easy victory, it would seem, in heat number 6. No mistakes from Leigh Richardson off this final corner as Richardson takes the checker flag to win heat number 6. Tony Rickardsson comes in second and Stuart ROBSON third. We'll look again at a great first corner there by Leigh Richardson. Tony Rickardsson got to the corner ahead of him, but Richardson wasn't to be denied, cleverly switched back underneath Tony Rickardsson, and he was away. And it was Leigh Richardson that took victory in heat number 6. Tony Rickardsson second, Stuart ROBSON third. Progressively now it's 26 to the Victor Chandler Bees and 10 to the Meridian List POOLE Pirates. So we move on to heat number 7, and Bees well represented, of course, in this one with Andreas JONSSON. He lines up in red. This time JONSSON will start in gate number 2. His partner in this one will be Jason BUNYAN. BUNYAN lining up off the outside gate. For the Meridian List POOLE Pirates, lining up in green off the inside will be Mark Loram, and in yellow and black for them it will be their Swedish, Brazilian-born Antonio Lindback. So We'll look at the lineup from inside to out. Mark Loram off the inside, Andreas JONSSON off gate number 2, Tony Lindback gate 3, and Jason Bunyan off gate number 4. So the emphasis here is the POOLE Pirates have got to come out and beat Andreas JONSSON. They surely couldn't have wished for a worse nightmare here at Coventry tonight, to be 16 points down on the night after just 6 heats. And well, you wouldn't have really scripted that. Who would have expected that the Bees would be so far ahead after just 6 races, as they come into line then and racing action for this heat number 7. Loram off the inside, Andreas JONSSON gate number 2, Tony Lindback gate number 3, Jason Bunyan off the outside. As the green light comes on straight away, up fly the takes, away they go, and from the inside is a good start from Loram, but Andreas JONSSON's got ahead of him, and it's JONSSON that's clear at the moment. JONSSON clear of Mark Loram, Tony Lindback in 3rd, Jason Bunyan already tailed over the back as they tear into that top corner. Lindback makes a bit of a mistake. Can Jason Bunyan get to him? But it's Andreas JONSSON clear from Mark Loram. Lindback still in 3rd with Bunyan battling for all he knows at the back. Can Jason Bunyan get to Tony Lindback as they tear down that back straight for the 2nd time? Bunyan's not too far behind Lindback. Can Bunyan get to Lindback? No mistakes from Lindback here off the top corner, and Bunyan's still about 5 metres back. Bunyan's still battling for all he knows round the outside this time. Can he get to Tony Lindback? Just cleverly switching back, he sees a gap on the inside. Can he get to Tony Lindback on the inside as they hit that top corner again? Lindback makes a bit of a mistake going into that top corner. He's left a gap. Surely can Bunyan get it underneath? Fantastic ride by Jason Bunyan, and Jason Bunyan comes into 3rd, and the Bees are going to take another heat advantage, and Lindback now doesn't seem interested at the back as they tear off that top corner for the 4th and final time. Andreas JONSSON's going to win heat number 7, but Jason Bunyan crucially has beaten Tony Lindback, and the Bees take another heat advantage, and surely now they've got one hand on this 2003 KO Cup. And we'll look again, their worst style of Jason Bunyan wasn't to be denied. Battle for all he knows, kept plugging away, and saw a gap on the inside as Lindback made a mistake, and the Bees take another 4-2 in heat number 7 and extend their advantage further. Andreas JONSSON your winner, Mark Loram 2nd, Jason Bunyan 3rd, and amazingly now the Victor Chandler Bees are on 30, the Meridian List Pirates on 12. Progressively now it's 72 to the Victor Chandler Bees, just 58 to the Meridian List Pirates, 14 points to the Bees, and surely they won't blow it now. Surely the Bees are going to win the KO Cup for the first time since 1967. Jason Bunyan your hero in heat number 7. Moving on to heat number 8, and unsurprisingly Pirates decide the time is right to introduce a tactical substitute. Out goes guest tonight, Gary Stead, and in comes Leigh ADAMS. Leigh ADAMS is going to line up in yellow off gate number 1. His partner in this one off gate number 3. Left into this race, surprisingly, perhaps Pirates don't wish to use all of their tactical substitutions at the one time. Bjarne PEDERSEN holds his place, and Pedersen will be looking to make amends after his disaster in heat number 5. For the Victor Chandler Bees in this one, lining up in red will be Stuart ROBSON, and his partner in blue will be Ryan Fisher. So we'll look at the lineup from inside to out. Tactical substitute for the Pirates, Leigh ADAMS lines up in yellow off the inside. Ryan Fisher lines up in blue off gate number 2. Bjarne PEDERSEN lines up in green off gate number 3. And in red off the outside for the Victor Chandler Bees will be Stuart ROBSON. Styling Marshall again, just telling Bjarne PEDERSEN to come up towards the tapes. Pedersen's always the last one to settle down ahead of the start. But now all 4 riders just about ready as they settle down for the start of this crucial heat number 8. Remember, the Pirates just have to get maximum points in this one to get back into tonight's match. The green light start up, fly the takes, away they go. And indeed, it's a good start from the Meridian List POOLE Pirates. Leigh ADAMS on the inside, Bjarne PEDERSEN coming round the outside to join his partner up front. And it's the POOLE Pirates on a 5-1 at the moment. Ryan Fisher in 3rd, Stuart ROBSON already tailed off at the back. And all the time, Leigh ADAMS looking across to see that it's his Meridian List POOLE Pirates partner, Bjarne PEDERSEN, and PEDERSEN now goes clear. And Ryan Fisher, all credit to Fisher, he's having a battle on the outside. Can Fisher get to Leigh ADAMS? Leigh ADAMS doing a good job on the inside, but he makes a bit of a mistake there. Goes a bit across the corner, just checks back to see where Ryan Fisher is. And the answer is Fisher's about 10 metres back as they tear down that back straight for the 3rd time. And the POOLE Pirates look to be making amends in this one and taking a heat advantage as Bjarne PEDERSEN clear from Leigh ADAMS. Leigh ADAMS well content to do just a shepherding job here and keep the Victor Chandler Bees pairing behind him. as they tear down that back straight for the final time. Bjarne PEDERSEN, barring any mistakes and disasters on this final corner, is going to take race victory in heat number 8. Leigh ADAMS is going to come in second, and the POOLE Pirates are going to take a much needed 5-1 in heat number 8. Bjarne PEDERSEN wins it. Leigh ADAMS seconds, Ryan Fisher third. Crucial there for the Meridian List Pirates that they got that 5-1 heat advantage, and Bjarne PEDERSEN and Leigh ADAMS duly delivered. And so Bjarne PEDERSEN, your winner, and not very quick time, 62.4. Leigh ADAMS second, Ryan Fisher third. It's now 31 to the Victor Chandler Bees, 17 to the Meridian List POOLE Pirates. Moving on to heat number 9, and out in this one, of course, Tony Rickardsson for the POOLE Pirates. So Rickardsson's going to take that inside gate in this one. His partner will be Dryml. For the Victor Chandler Bees, riding in red for them off the outside gate this time will be Mikael MAX, and his partner, of course, Janniro. So important for the Pirates that they can keep this going and give them a sniff at trying to get back into the match, and with an outside chance of still taking this KO Cup. But Coventry surely have got to be favourites to be so far ahead after just 8 races. Still 14 points up on the night, 10 points on the overall score. And it's going to take something very special for the Meridian List Pirates to come back from this. So we'll look at the lineup then from inside to out. Tony Rickardsson lines up in green off the inside. Janniro lines up in blue off gate number 2. For the Meridian List Pirates, in yellow off gate number 3 will be Dryml, and in red off the outside for the Victor Chandler Bees will be Mikael MAX. Starting Marshall just checking with Rickardsson on the inside. As all 4 riders just about settling down ahead of the start of this heat number 9. Green light does finally come on, up fly the takes, away they go, and it's a tremendous start from Tony Rickardsson on the inside, and on his shot he's got Mikael MAX. Janniro made a shocker of a start, but already Janniro is able to snuck inside Dryml, and it's the Bees packing the places at the moment as Tony Rickardsson made a tremendous start off gate number 1, and it's the Bees are having to give chase in this one. Janniro makes a bit of a mistake there, and he's got to be careful that he doesn't allow Dryml to get close to him as they tear down that back straight. Tony Rickardsson 20 metres clear of Mikael MAX. Janniro just content to hold off the challenge of Dryml at the back, but Tony Rickardsson making amends after a very poor opening tonight for the 5-time world champion. Didn't look interested at all in his opening race, made a bit of an amends in heat number 6 when he came second, and he looks to be putting things right in this heat number 9 by taking race victory. With a lap to go, the style of the 5-time world champion Tony Rickardsson, and he tears down that back straight. He's 40 metres clear now of the Bees pairing as he hits that top corner for the 4th and final time. Rickardsson's going to take race victory, and the Pirates are going to win 2 races on the trot as Rickardsson wins. Mikael MAX just about coming in second, and just crossing the finishing line, Janniro. So it's 3-all in that one, and swift time as well for Tony Rickardsson considering the conditions. 60.3 for Rickardsson. Rickardsson your winner, Mikael MAX second, Janniro third. It's now progressively 34 to the Victor Chandler Bees and 20 to the Meridian List Pirates. 76 now to the Bees on the overall score, and 66 to the Meridian List POOLE Pirates. As we move on to heat number 10, and Leigh Richardson's first out onto track for this one, and the POOLE Pirates again make a tactical change in this one. Out goes Antonio Lindback, and coming out for 2 on the trot will be Tony Rickardsson. And of course Rickardsson coming out in this one in yellow means that he'll line up off that inside gate again. So good team management here from Neil Middleditch of the POOLE Pirates, and important for the Bees that they can at least beat Mark Loram in this one if possible. And Bees team manager Colin Pratt also makes a change in this one. Out goes Stuart ROBSON, disappointing tonight for Stuart, and he's replaced in this one by Ryan Fisher. So just coming out onto the track, Fisher and the POOLE Pirates. Leigh Richardson already up to the tapes, and important for Richardson, and he can make a good start from the outside and perhaps get ahead of Tony Rickardsson, but Rickardsson was away like a rocket in that previous race from the inside gate, so Pirates will be looking for him to do the same thing again. Leigh Richardson just turning back there as Bees other representative Ryan Fisher comes towards the tapes, and we'll have a look at the lineup from inside to out ahead of the start of this heat number 10. Tony Rickardsson lines up in yellow off the inside. Ryan Fisher lines up for the Bees in blue off gate number 2. For the Meridian List POOLE Pirates, Mark Loram lines up in green off gate number 3. And off red off the outside for the Bees will be Leigh Richardson. So with Pirates having won 2 races on the trot, Bees know that it's important that they can just stem this challenge, and no complacency required from the Victor Chandler Bees. They've almost got there, but they've just got to keep working over these remaining 6 heats. So they finally settle down then for the start of this heat number 10. Green light comes on straight away. Being held a long time away, they finally go, and it's a good start again from Tony Rickardsson, and Mark Loram's got ahead of Lee Richardson, gave Richardson an elbow there, and it's allowed Ryan Fisher to get underneath, and the Bees find themselves in trouble at the moment as going into that top corner. A terrible mistake from Mark Loram. Loram's dropped from 3rd to 4th, and it's allowed Lee Richardson to take up 3rd place, and the Bees look set fair to pat the places in this heat number 10. Loram looked for a moment, looked to have got that 3rd place, but he made a terrible mistake going, and he's now way tailed off in this heat number 10 as Tony Rickardsson again way clear at the front from Ryan Fisher this time. It's Lee Richardson still in 3rd, and another 3-all looks to be coming up in this heat number 10, and it means the Bees will still be 10 points to the good on the aggregate score. As they hit that top corner with a lap to go, there's still Tony Rickardsson from Ryan Fisher and Lee Richardson in 3rd, and the Bees quite content just to ride round and take the 3 points in this race with 5 races remaining. Surely the Bees, they only need another 11 points to make sure of this 2003 KO Cup as Tony Rickardsson wins, Ryan Fisher 2nd, and Lee Richardson comes in 3rd. So it was all about that first lap there, as Mark Loram made a terrible mistake going in, and it allowed Lee Richardson to get underneath him. And we'll look at the result. Tony Rickardsson your winner, Ryan Fisher 2nd, Lee Richardson 3rd. It's now 37 to the Victor Chandler Bees, 23 to the Meridian Lifts POOLE Pirates. Moving on to heat number 11, and coming out onto the track will be Bees' Andreas JONSSON. He's going to be partnered in this one by Jason BUNYAN, and Bunyan's done a solid job so far with a couple of 3rd places. Crucial for the Bees that Bunyan does pick up these 3rd places, and they'll be looking to him to actually beat Bjarne PEDERSEN in this one if possible. Pedersen of course had a shocking start to his night's proceedings, but then made amends in heat number 8 when he was out with Leigh ADAMS and gained that 5-1 advantage for the Meridian Lifts POOLE Pirates. But still the Pirates find themselves 10 points down on the aggregate, and surely they're going to have to look to gaining a 5-1 advantage in this one if at all possible. But against Andreas JONSSON, and JONSSON lines up off the inside of course, it's going to be very difficult indeed. JONSSON looking to make a swift start like his compatriot Tony Rickardsson has done in the previous 2 heats. So we'll look at the lineup from inside to out. Andreas JONSSON lines up off the inside, Bjarne PEDERSEN in gate number 2. Jason BUNYAN lines up for the Victor Chandler Bees in gate number 3, and in gate number 4 off the outside will be Leigh ADAMS. Starting Marshall just checking there with BUNYAN and Bjarne PEDERSEN just ahead of the start of this heat number 11. Again, starting Marshall asking the boys to come into racing order ahead of this start. Crucial for the Victor Chandler Bees that JONSSON makes a swift start off the inside to at least give the Bees a 3-all advantage in this one. As they're taking their time ahead of this heat number 11. They know how crucial it is. The Bees can sniff victory, and they just know that JONSSON's got to make a good start off the inside. Still we wait for the start, and I think just about they're going to settle down ahead of the start of this heat number 11. The boys begin to pick up the revs, so away they go, and from the inside it's a great start in fact from Bjarne PEDERSEN, and PEDERSEN somehow has got ahead of Andreas JONSSON, and the Bees are in trouble as they tear down that back straight for the first time. Leigh ADAMS joining Bjarne PEDERSEN up front, and it's imperative for the Victor Chandler Bees that Andreas JONSSON gets to Bjarne PEDERSEN. PEDERSEN makes a mistake and JONSSON surges through, and JONSSON now's got to give chase on Leigh ADAMS, but ADAMS is way clear. ADAMS just checks back to see who it is that's behind, and the answer is it's Andreas JONSSON as they tear off that top corner. JONSSON now gaining all close order on Leigh ADAMS. Can JONSSON get to Leigh ADAMS? ADAMS a bit on mid-track, JONSSON down low. Can JONSSON get to Leigh ADAMS as they tear down that back straight? JONSSON makes a bit of a mistake, and it's allowed ADAMS to get away again, and it's important for the Victor Chandler Bees that JONSSON keeps plugging away. Can he get to Leigh ADAMS? But Leigh ADAMS still with that 10-metre advantage with a lap to go. ADAMS still clear of JONSSON. Bjarne PEDERSEN comfortably holding back the challenge of Jason BUNYAN, and the Pirates look to be taking taking a 4-2 in this heat number 8 to close the gap just a little as Leigh ADAMS comes off the top corner to take race victory. ADAMS wins, Andreas JONSSON second, Bjarne PEDERSEN third, and Bjarne PEDERSEN will be disappointed there. He made a tremendous start and then he made a mistake and it allowed Andreas JONSSON to slip through. So a 4-2 to the Meridian List POOLE Pirates in that one. Leigh ADAMS your winner, Andreas JONSSON second, Bjarne PEDERSEN third. It's now 39 to the Victor Chandler Bees and just 27 to the Meridian List POOLE Pirates as Andreas JONSSON comes down in front of the fans, and he'll be disappointed with his start in that one. But Leigh ADAMS will be pleased for the POOLE Pirates, and progressively now it's 81 to the Victor Chandler Bees and 73 to the Meridian List POOLE Pirates. Moving on to heat number 12 then, and that 4-2 advantage for the Meridian List Pirates there in heat number 11. It's closed the gap somewhat. It's just 8 points now between the teams on the overall score. Bees still got to be favourites, but POOLE Pirates haven't given up, and that's indicated in this one as they introduce Bjarne PEDERSEN as a tactical substitute in yellow and black. As we look at the lineup from inside to out, Mikael MAX lines up for the Victor Chandler Bees off the inside. Bjarne PEDERSEN comes out again off gate number 2 in yellow. For the Bees in gate number 3 in blue will be Ryan Fisher, and in green off the outside for the Meridian List POOLE Pirates will be Mark Loram. Bjarne PEDERSEN again just trying to find that best starting position ahead of the start of this heat number 12. Pirates know that they've still got to keep plugging away, getting these heat advantages if they stand any chance still of victory. But the odds still, with only 4 races to go, have got to favour the Victor Chandler Bees. Still 8 points to the good on the overall score. And they'll be looking to Mikael MAX to make a good start off the inside. MAX, in fact, going right up against the curb ahead of this heat number 12 to try and start from a fresh piece of dirt on that inside gate. As all 4 boys finally settle down for heat number 12. Green lights on, away they go, and it's a great start from Mikael MAX off the inside, and Max is away into that first corner. In fact, Max makes a terrible mistake, shoots all across the corner, and Max goes from first to fourth, and it's allowed the Meridian List Pirates to be on a forward at the moment, and this is a disaster for Bees as Fisher now takes racing order on Mark Loram, and Fisher's now got to get to Bjarne PEDERSEN, who avoided all of that carnage on the first corner, and Bjarne PEDERSEN's away. Ryan Fisher still in second with Mark Loram on his tail. Mikael MAX, what a disaster for Max. He made a tremendous start, shot across the corner and went from first to fourth, and with 2 laps gone the Pirates look to be taking another heat advantage in this heat number 12. Max battling for all he knows, trying to get on the inside of Mark Loram. Loram makes a mistake, can Max get to him? Loram just back around the outside of Mikael MAX as they tear off that top corner with a lap to go. Mikael MAX still not far behind Mark Loram. Can he get underneath Mark Loram? Mark Loram still holding on for Mikael MAX as they tear down that back straight for the 4th time. Can Max get to Loram? I don't think he's going to get to him, and the POOLE Pirates are going to take another heat advantage in heat number 12 as they come through to the flag. Bjarne PEDERSEN your winner, Ryan Fisher comes in second, Mark Loram third, and Mikael MAX very disappointed with that. Well, look at that again, and you can see Max made a tremendous start off the inside, got to that corner and then shots across in front of them all and went from first to fourth, and disaster for the Bees in that heat number 12 as Bjarne PEDERSEN's your winner of heat number 12, Ryan Fisher second, Mark Loram third. So progressively it's now just 41 to the Victor Chandler Bees, 31 to the Meridian List Pirates, and they keep plugging away, and that gap's now just 6 points. And they know with Adams and Rickardsson in the next race, then they could take a maximum heat advantage out of that one. Progressively now then, it's 83 to the Victor Chandler Bees, 77 to the Meridian List POOLE Pirates. As we move on to heat number 13, and crucial for the Victor Chandler Bees that they can at least pack the places in this one, but it's not going to be easy, of course. Part of the Pirates' plan tonight, they won the tops 2 and 4 in the opening race, and that of course allows them to have 1 and 3 off the inside here, and it's important for the POOLE Pirates. They need a heat advantage in this one. They've had successive 4-2 advantages, and it's closed the gap from 10 points on the aggregate just down to 6, and they know a big 5-1 here from the Adams-Rickardsson pairing can make all the difference. But against Lee Richardson for the Victor Chandler Bees and Andreas JONSSON, they know that's not going to be easy, and Bees will be looking to JONSSON to make a fantastic start around the outside, perhaps surge around all the field and take race victories. So we'll look at the lineup from inside to out. Leigh ADAMS lines up in green for the Meridian List POOLE Pirates. Lee Richardson lines up in red for the Victor Chandler Bees off gate number 2. Tony Rickardsson in yellow off gate number 3. And in blue off the outside for the Victor Chandler Bees is Andreas JONSSON. Tony Rickardsson just finding the best guiding position here in gate number 3. Just having a closer look, of course. Track conditions, the track's rode pretty well tonight, considering all the inclement weather we've had. Fine sprinkling of sawdust ahead of the start, of course, but times have not been too far apart, and it's made for an interesting match. The Bees look to be cruising at one point, and to be 14 points upon the aggregate score. They know it's important here that JONSSON and Richardson can combine and at least take 3 points out of this heat number 13. Tension's palpable as we await Leigh ADAMS just to take his position off the inside, and as they finally settle down for the start of this heat number 13. Green light comes on straight away. Up further takes away they go, and it's a good start from gate number 3 from Rickardsson. And Rickardsson gets ahead of Andreas JONSSON, and Leigh ADAMS is round the curve. And JONSSON sees a gap on the inside through the gap, and JONSSON's gone from third to first. What a tremendous ride by Andreas JONSSON. And JONSSON now clear up front for the POOLE Pirates, and the Pirates don't know what's hidden there. But JONSSON made the ride of his life down the middle of the 2 POOLE Pirates, and JONSSON's clear and heading for home. Can JONSSON take race victory in this heat number 13? Is he clear of the POOLE Pirates combination at the moment? Rickardsson's giving chase. Leigh ADAMS in third. Richardson's nowhere in this heat number 13. What a tremendous run on the first lap from Andreas JONSSON. Surged between the POOLE Pirates, and he looks to be becoming a cup hero for the Victor Chandler Bees in this heat number 13 with a lap to go. Andreas JONSSON, the start of the speed Swede, the super Swede. Andreas JONSSON still clear from Rickardsson. What a fantastic ride by JONSSON, and surely the Victor Chandler Bees can wrap things up in heat number 14 now and take the 2003 Elite League KO Cup as Andreas JONSSON wins heat number 13. Tony Rickardsson just about comes in second, Leigh ADAMS third. What a tremendous ride there by Andreas JONSSON, wasn't to be denied. Got pushed out by Rickardsson on the first corner. Leigh ADAMS down low, saw a gap to JONSSON, surged between the two and took race victory. What a fantastic ride by Andreas JONSSON. And the victory there means it's now progressively 44 to the Victor Chandler Bees, 34 to the Meridian List POOLE Pirates. So the Bees know with a 5-1 advantage in this heat number 14, and surely it favours them because, of course, the Pirates have got to use Lindback instead. And the Bees know that 5-1 here will give them the 2003 Knockout Cup as Andreas JONSSON comes down in front of the fans. Your convincing winner of heat number 13. So out onto the track for heat number 14, crucial heat number 14, and surely it's got to favour the Victor Chandler Bees. Bees manager Colin Pratt pulls out Jason Bunyan from this one, introduces Ryan Fisher, and he's going to be joined by his American compatriot Billy Janniro. Janniro's going to line up in red off gate number 3. Surely got to favour the Bees because the POOLE Pirates have got to give their third compulsory rise to both Antonio Lindback and to Gary Stead, and paying the price, of course, for using tactical substitutes through the mid part of the meeting. And the Bees know that 5-1 here will give them victory in the 2003 Elite League KO Cup. So just waiting Ryan Fisher to come round towards the tapes, and we'll look at the lineup from inside to out. It's going to be Fisher lining up off blue off the inside. Just turning back in gate number 2 is Tony Lindback. Gate number 3 for the Victor Chandler Bees lining up in red will be Billy Janniro, and Gary Stead, he's going to take his position up in yellow off the outside. So as Ryan Fisher just comes back to the tapes, we now await Tony Lindback, and as we say that, Lindback comes up towards the tapes, Billy Janniro turns back. And with conditions being very difficult indeed tonight, especially on that first corner, the referee giving them all the time that they need ahead of the start of this heat number 14. And Billy Janniro just making a practice start there. And we'll remind you then of the lineup for heat number 14. Ryan Fisher lines up in blue off the inside. Tony Lindback lines up in green off gate number 2. Billy Janniro in red off gate number 3. And Gary Stead in yellow and black off the outside. Starting Marshall just having a word with Gary Stead on the outside, just asking him to come up to the tapes ahead of this crucial start of heat number 14. We remind you the Victor Chandler Bees need maximum heat advantage in this one, and then KO Cup is theirs. as they finally settle down for heat number 14. The green light's on, and fly the tapes, away they go, and it's a good start from Ryan Fisher and Billy Janniro. Fisher's in trouble. Fisher goes across the corner, he's took out Lindback, he's took off Janniro. Oh, what a disaster there. Fisher surely is going to have to go out. What happened there? Janniro's quickly back up on his feet and sinking back down to his knees. It's Tony Lindback. Fisher's also up, and what a disaster for the Bees there. Fisher looked to have got to that first corner and made a terrible mistake, shot up in front of Tony Lindback and nowhere to go but down. That's a disaster there. You can see Janniro seemed to be in very serious trouble on the inside. Hit that air fence with real force, and we'll have to have a look. Of course, Fisher's going to find himself excluded from heat number 14, and we'll be real concern here for Tony Lindback, and Ryan Fisher just having a look at see how Lindback is, and as the POOLE Pirates fellow riders and management come rushing out from the pits, and there's real concern here for Lindback, and indeed confirmation that Ryan Fisher is excluded, and now the emphasis is going to have to be on Billy Janniro. We'll look again at that one, and wow, what a lift there by Fisher on that first corner. Looked to have got away and shot straight in the side of Lindback. Lindback had nowhere to go but down, and then Janniro. How Janniro's got up from that one, I don't know. And real concern again now for the POOLE Pirates. As Tony Lindback, surely he's going to see if he's going to have to be race fit for the restart of this heat number 14. So Ryan Fisher's going to be excluded, and it's going to be just 3 riders only in the restart of heat number 14. So Fisher walking back to the pits, obviously he's going to be very disappointed with that. And, you can't blame the kid for trying, but just got out of control there, and finds himself rightfully excluded from heat number 14. And we learned down from the chat that there's real concern for Tony Lindback, and it's going to be an ambulance ride for Lindback again, and he doesn't have the best of luck here at Coventry, does he? But it's going to have to be seen now whether POOLE Pirates will have to introduce Dryml in the restart of this heat number 14, as Ryan Fisher walks back to the pits with POOLE Pirates team manager Neil Middleditch. Middleditch obviously concerned for the safety of all of his riders tonight, and all credit to both sides for the performance they've put on tonight, as Lindback comes down in front of the main grandstand on the back of the ambulance again, and we await news down from the pits to see if Lindback's going to be fit for the restart of this heat number 14. So extra time having been allowed for Billy Janniro ahead of the restart of heat number 14. We learn from the pits that Janniro is having to come out on a spare machine, too badly damaged in that carnage of heat number 14. And we'll look down at the track here and see who's actually going to be lining up for the POOLE Pirates. We learn from the pits, in fact, that it's not going to be Dryml lining up in green for the POOLE Pirates. In fact, it's going to be Mark Loram. And quick look at the rule book, and yeah, indeed, it appears that they are allowed to do this, that Lindback's officially been withdrawn from the meeting with a foot injury, and that's allowed the POOLE Pirates here to actually introduce Mark Loram as a tactical substitute. And could this be a masterstroke from team manager Neil Middleditch? Because of course Loram's got no opposition on his inside, and if he can take care of Billy Janniro, you know, off that gate number 3, it might leave a way clear for Gary Stead. So emphasis is on Janniro to try and get out of the start. And how's this other machine of his going to cope in these conditions? And concern for the Victor Chandler Bees. As we say, they look to be cruising at one point, and they needed a maximum heat advantage out of this one. They're not going to get it, and now POOLE Pirates, maybe they can sense they're in with a chance. So we'll look at the lineup then. Mark Loram's going to line up for the Meridian List Pirates in green, then off gate number 2. Bees' only representative in this one, Billy Janniro, lines up in gate number 3, and the Meridian List POOLE Pirates represented off the outside in yellow by Gary Stead. So as the green light comes on straight away for the restart of this heat number 14, away they go, and Loram's made a great start. Loram's got ahead of Janniro, and Janniro sees a gap on the inside, and Janniro comes from third at first. What a great first corner from Billy Janniro. He's got to be careful though. Loram gets on the inside of him, and Janniro now makes a mistake. Janniro's in trouble, and Janniro's going to come down as Janniro hits the deck, and an absolute disaster for the Victor Chandler Bees in this one. As Janniro went in too rich, he made a mistake, hit the back of Loram, and Janniro finds himself, Janniro just about remounting, and this is absolute disaster for the Victor Chandler Bees, and it means they're going to go into that last heat decider that they didn't want, as Mark Loram way clear at the front, and Gary Stead, he's got no competition here from Billy Janniro. Janniro's about half a lap back, as Mark Loram way clear up front from Gary Stead, and a 5-1 here to the Meridian List Pool Pirates means it's going to close the gap just to 2 points on the aggregate scores with just a lap to go. The Pool Pirates know they're still in with a chance of the 2003 Knockout Cup. Mark Loram comes off that top corner then to take race victory in heat number 14. Loram takes victory. Gary Stead comes in second, and Billy Janniro, all credit to Janniro, remounting, and he's just about to come across the line. And what a disaster for the Bees. They look to have got that there. Janniro made a fantastic cutback, switched back underneath Loram. He couldn't get the drive though, couldn't get that bike going forward. Loram saw his back advantage again, surged underneath Janniro. Janniro then went in, and down he came. He was lucky there not to take off Mark Loram as well. And it means that the Meridian List Pool Pirates take a 5-1 in heat number 14. It's now 45 to the Victor Chandler Bees, 39 to the Meridian List Pool Pirates, 87 to the Bees now, and 85 to the Meridian List Pool Pirates. So it's all down to a last heat decider. So out they come then for the start of this crucial heat number 15. Who would have thought it? After 7 races, the Bees were so far ahead. They got one hand on the cup, and it's all coming down to a last heat decider, and you really wouldn't have scripted this. The Bees representatives in this one is going to be Andreas JONSSON lining up in red in this one. Lee Richardson's going to line up in blue. We learned from the pits the Bees won the toss, and they've chosen 2 and 4 in this one. And one has to wonder why they've done that. Maybe they think that JONSSON can make a great start from gate number 2, but to allow the Pool Pirates gates 1 and 3, that's really is quite a surprise. And the Pool Pirates, of course, they pick themselves in this one. Lining up in green for the Pool Pirates will be Leigh ADAMS, and lining up in yellow and black will be Tony Rickardsson. So imperative, it's all going to be on the start. Can the Victor Chandler Bees? Surely they won't blow this after being so far ahead at the early stages. They got off to the best possible start this evening, and it's all coming down to a last heat decider. Tension's palpable here. All fans on tenterhooks. Who's going to win this 2003 Knockout Cup final? We'll look at the lineup then from inside to out. Leigh ADAMS lines up in green off the inside. Andreas JONSSON lines up in red off gate number 2. Tony Rickardsson in yellow off gate number 3. And Lee Richardson, he lines up in blue off the outside. Surely the emphasis is going to be on Andreas JONSSON for Bees to make the best of starts, get into that first corner. Bees, of course, only need a 3-all. 4-2 to the Meridian List Pirates. Of course, it's going to be level on the overall score, and the rules state that it's going to have to be a replay. Goodness only knows when that will be, but imperative for the Bees that they make the start here, and they're in with a chance of the Knockout Cup. They've never been closer, I think, for many years. 1967, of course, the last time the Bees won the Knockout Cup. They're in with a chance of doing it again here in 2003, the first year of new ownership here at Coventry. Can the Bees make amends for their Elite League Championship disappointment, take the Knockout Cup here? Long time before the boys settling down ahead of the start of this heat number 15. Who's going to make the start? Who's going to make that advantage count on the first corner? Still we await all 4 boys to settle down ahead of the start of this crucial heat number 15. They finally do settle down then. Bikes begin to pick up the revs, the green light's on, up further takes away they go, and it's a good start from Leigh ADAMS on the inside, and Leigh ADAMS has taken care of JONSSON on the first corner. JONSSON's got to be careful, he's left a gap, and Tony Rickardson's come underneath him, and the Pirates are on a 5-1 at the moment. Leigh ADAMS up front, Tony Rickardsson in second. Can JONSSON get to him? It's imperative JONSSON gets 2 of a 5-1 here, and the Pool Pirates are going to snatch victory for the jaws of the Bees. Surely the Bees aren't going to blow this in the final race tonight. JONSSON has just got to get to the Pool Pirates. JONSSON trying to get on terms with the Pool Pirates and team riding up front. Leigh ADAMS up front, Tony Rickardsson second, 2 laps gone. JONSSON makes another mistake, and he should drop him back, and Tony Rickardsson checks back to see where JONSSON is. The answer is he's not close enough. The Pool Pirates surely are going to snatch this with a lap to go. Leigh ADAMS up front from Tony Rickardsson. JONSSON's still battling for all he knows. JONSSON's not going to get there, and the Victor Chandler Bees are going to blow it, and the Meridian List Pool Pirates are going to take victory in the 2003 Knockout Cup as they come off that top corner. The Pool Pirates win. The Pool Pirates win the 2003 Knockout Cup, and the Pirates can't believe it. They're jubilant down on the track. They cannot believe that after being so far back The POOLE Pirates have plugged away. The start we said was going to be crucial, and it was Leigh ADAMS who made the best of starts, and he left it out there, and Tony Rickardsson slipped through, and the POOLE Pirates somehow have taken the 2003 Elite League Knockout Cup. Jubilation from the Pirates, jubilation from the Pirates fans. Who would have believed this after being so far back? And they've taken the Bees are just dumbstruck. How the Bees have lost this, they'll never know. But the POOLE Pirates celebrate victory in the most dramatic fashion in the very last heat. And celebrations here from Tony Rickardsson. Donuts all round as Rickardsson celebrates, Adams celebrates. Who would have scripted that? After being 30 points to 12 down, the POOLE Pirates have come back for the most dramatic fashion and snatched victory in the very last heat. Who would have believed it? Who would have believed it? Speedway is such a cruel sport sometimes. The Bees had this tonight. The Bees had it in the bag. They've only got themselves to blame. The events are heat number 14. But all credit to the Meridian List POOLE Pirates, who've come back from the jaws of defeat and snatched the victory, and they're on for the treble. They're the 2003 Elite League champions, and now they're the 2003 Elite League Knockout Cup winners. Leigh ADAMS your winner, Tony Rickardsson comes in second, and the POOLE Pirates fans celebrate there as Rickardsson comes down in front of the POOLE Pirates fans. Some of those already on the track there as Rickardsson gets congratulations all round after the most dramatic 5-1 in the very last race. POOLE Pirates take the 5-1 and are the winners of the 2003 Elite League Knockout Cup. So both teams coming around on the victory parade here at Coventry tonight, and this match is going to live long into the memory of all supporters who are here tonight. The POOLE Pirates absolutely jubilant, coming back from the dead here at Coventry tonight to take the 2003 Elite League KO Cup final. And whilst we come round on the parade trip, we'll look at the individual scorers tonight. For the Victor Chandler Bees, a good start tonight for their number one, Lee Richardson, opened up with 2 race victories, but in the end he only scored another point for a total of 7+1. Disappointing return tonight for Bees second string Stuart ROBSON, who scored only a point. I guess this evening Mikael MAX, but for a Heat 12 incident, came away with 7+1. Billy Janniro, of course, involved in the fracas of Heat number 14, but Janniro still vitally contributed, 7+2. Andreas JONSSON this evening, 3 race victories at a total of 12 points, and the 2 reserves, BUNYAN scored 2, and Ryan Fisher 10+1. For the Meridian List POOLE Pirates, their number one, Leigh ADAMS, always a good scorer here at Coventry, and once again tonight came good when it mattered and scored 12+2. Bjarne PEDERSEN, 2 vital wins for the POOLE Pirates for Bjarne PEDERSEN, and he scored 8+1. Their guest this evening, Mark Loram, came away with 6. He came away with 6. Their guest this evening, Mark Loram, he came away with 6, and of course one of those was the race victory in heat number 14. Antonio Lindback, of course, withdrew for the meeting with that foot injury, only scored a point. And the Pirates other scorers, Tony Rickardsson, he scored 12+1 as usual for Rickardsson. A slow start tonight, but came back good like ADAMS. And the 2 reserves, Dryml scored 2, and Gary Stead scored 3 and 1. That's the individual scorers. It's down onto the centre for the celebrations and presentations of the 2003 Knockout Cup. So 2003 is proving to be the year of the Pirates. Not only have they won the 2003 Elite League Championship, but also tonight wrapping up in the most dramatic fashion the Knockout Cup final as well. Being presented here with the Knockout Cup trophy. So a fantastic performance from the POOLE Pirates here at Coventry tonight, coming back from the dead to snatch victory in the very last heat. And who will begrudge them their fantastic performance, coming back from such a deficit to take the League and Cup double. That's about it from Coventry Motor Speedway for this time, and indeed for the season. Before we go, we pop down to the pits and caught up with not only the Pirates team manager Neil Middleditch, but also the 5 times world champion Tony Rickardsson. Until the next time on Coventry Motor Speedway Television, it's goodbye.
Tony Rickardsson, Elite League champions and now Knockout Cup champions 2003. You must be well chuffed.
Yeah, we are. I mean, I don't think anybody can really believe that we could pull these big points down and actually make it happen. It haven't really sunk in yet.
You're 18 points down at one point, and now you come back and you've won it. I mean, that's just an awesome performance for your team.
Yeah, we were trying to remember, if I ever been involved in a meeting like that. I may be in any other league meeting, but never in such a big event like this.
So it's the end of the year for you. You've had quite a good one. You must be really pleased to finish on a high note.
Yeah, absolutely. It's been a great season for me, a little bit downer on the championship, but you know, apart from that, it's been a great season.
Excellent. Well, thanks a lot for talking to us, Tony.
Okay,
thank
thank
you. Neil Middleditch, well done. Knockout Cup champions 2003, as well as the Elite League. You must be really pleased.
I can't believe it. I still can't believe it. I mean, you know, we were sort of dead and buried halfway through the meeting. And then I just said to the boys, you know, we just got to keep plugging away. I tried to make the changes where I could to try and improve things. And, you know, we had a little bit of luck. I think that the Coventry boys were so, I wouldn't say they were cruising, but they started to override a little bit for the conditions and made mistakes they shouldn't have made. You know, they did have the beating of us. And, you know, and I think they just overrode, just tried a little bit too hard. And when we started getting closer, they were getting more and more desperate. And I just said to my boys, just keep plugging away. That's all we can do. And see they make mistakes. And they did.
It's a great team performance as well. You must be really proud of the boys.
Oh yeah, over the moon. I mean, to be that far behind and then to come back and win it, it's just unbelievable. I mean, you know, a draw I'd have been happy with, but I mean, to win it, it's just, well, you know, I have to keep pinching myself.
You can't have dreamed of a better season, really. You won the league and now the Knockout Cup.
That's right. I mean, I honestly thought tonight, you know, this was going to be tough. Coventry be up for it, and they certainly were. But, you know, and my boys, I mean, their heads were down. Let's be honest. To start with, their heads were down. But, you know, I just kept saying, come on, you know, just keep plugging away. And I started to make some changes, and we started to, you know, claw it back. And then a little bit of luck went our way. You know, I'm sorry for the Coventry fans and promotion and everything, but that's Speedway.
Well done and many congratulations. Thanks a lot for talking to us.
Thank you.
Cheers.